Listeners, have you ever stopped to wonder, truly stopped to ponder, why different cultures have such unique, sometimes startling, ways of dealing with death? What secrets do these rituals whisper about how societies perceive life, death, and the vast, unknown expanse of the afterlife? Today, on the Stories Philippines podcast, we're embarking on a journey, a fascinating exploration through a diverse array of death rituals that reveal the profound depths of human emotion and spirituality. I'm Alex, your host, and I invite you to join me, to ponder alongside me. How do these practices, these ancient traditions and modern interpretations, influence our understanding of mortality, of our own fleeting existence? Let's dive in, shall we? We begin our journey not in some far-off land, but amidst the vibrant, bustling streets of Binondo, Manila, a place where the echoes of the past intertwine with the rhythms of the present. Here, the concept of posthumous marriage, a practice that might seem unusual at first glance, offers a fascinating glimpse into how some cultures strive to maintain connections beyond the grave, beyond the veil that separates the living and the departed. Traditionally found in places like China and India, this practice captures the imagination with its unique blend of the earthly and the spiritual, the tangible and the intangible. In a quiet corner of Binondo, tucked away from the clamor of the marketplace, there lived a family deeply affected by the untimely death of their son, Thomas. A young man full of promise, his life was cut short, leaving his parents and siblings in a state of profound grief. As if the pain of loss wasn't enough, a string of misfortunes befell the family: illness, financial troubles. A sense of pervasive unease settled over their household. Desperate for answers, for solace, Thomas' parents sought the counsel of a spiritual medium, a woman known for her ability to communicate with the spirit world. The medium, after entering a trance, revealed that Thomas' spirit was restless, troubled. He longed for companionship in the afterlife, a void that mirrored the emptiness in his family's hearts. To bring peace to their son's soul and restore harmony to their home, the family, guided by the medium's advice, arranged a posthumous marriage between Thomas and a suitable partner. This young woman, chosen for her kind spirit, her strong family values, and her gentle nature, would, in essence, become Thomas' bride in the afterlife. This ritual, listeners, is not just about the deceased finding companionship in the hereafter. It's about ensuring peace and balance within the family left behind, a way to mend the shattered fragments of their lives and find a sense of closure. It's fascinating, isn't it? How a ritual seemingly so out of the ordinary could be seen as bridging the gap between worlds, aligning spiritual and familial harmony. This practice, while perhaps unfamiliar to some, underscores a belief shared by many cultures across the globe, that the bonds of love and family extend beyond the confines of our earthly existence. In ancient Chinese tradition, for instance, it was believed that an unmarried deceased person, particularly a young one, might roam the earth as a restless spirit, a hungry ghost unable to find peace or move on to the afterlife. By marrying them off, symbolically, to a willing partner, families sought to ensure their happiness and contentment in the world beyond. It raises profound questions, doesn't it, about how we perceive relationships, obligations, and the enduring power of love that transcends our mortal lives. Think about it, listeners. What does this tell us about the human need for connection, for belonging, even in the face of death? How does this practice challenge our own assumptions about the finality of death and the nature of the afterlife? But our journey doesn't end here. Let's move on, shall we, to another corner of the world, another fascinating tradition. From the bustling streets of Manila, we now journey to the serene landscapes of Japan, a land of ancient temples, breathtaking natural beauty, and a rich spiritual heritage. Here, we encounter the mesmerizing practice of soku shinbutsu, or self-mummification, a ritual carried out by dedicated Buddhist monks, representing the ultimate quest for enlightenment, a spiritual journey that challenges our very understanding of life and death. Imagine, listeners, a remote temple nestled within the mountains of Yamagata Prefecture, shrouded in mist and ancient cedars. In this tranquil setting, a monk named Haruto embarked on a grueling, decade-long path towards self-mummification. Driven by an unwavering devotion to his faith and a desire to transcend the limitations of the physical world, Haruto adhered to a strict, ascetic diet of nuts, seeds, and tree bark, a regimen designed to purify his body and prepare it for the arduous process ahead. Day after day, year after year, he meditated, seeking to attain spiritual clarity and detach himself from earthly desires. As the years passed, Haruto's resolve never wavered, his spirit soaring beyond the confines of his physical existence. He achieved a state of transcendence, a profound connection with the divine, even as his body gradually transformed, becoming a vessel of spiritual devotion. Isn't it astonishing, listeners, the lengths to which individuals will go in pursuit of spiritual awakening? The self-mummification process, you see, was no easy feat. It required immense dedication, discipline, and an unwavering belief in the possibility of achieving enlightenment through physical and mental transformation. It reflects a deep-seated desire to connect with the divine, to transcend the limitations of the material world and achieve a state of lasting peace. The practice of Sokushin Bisu, though extreme and perhaps unsettling to some, is a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity, our relentless pursuit of meaning and purpose. In a world often dominated by material pursuits, by the relentless pursuit of wealth and status, it challenges us to reconsider what true fulfillment means. The monks who underwent this rigorous process believed that through unwavering discipline, meditation, and self-denial, they could achieve nirvana, a state of eternal peace and enlightenment, a release from the cycle of birth and death. It's a powerful reminder, isn't it, of the human quest for spiritual growth, for understanding the mysteries of existence, for finding our place in the grand tapestry of the cosmos. What do you think, listeners? What drives individuals to seek such extreme forms of spiritual expression? How does this practice challenge our own notions of life, death, and the pursuit of enlightenment? But our journey through the world's fascinating death rituals is far from over. Let's return now to the Philippines to explore a custom closer to home. From the serene mountains of Japan, we return to the Philippines, the archipelago of 1,000 islands, where a unique practice, the wearing of sunglasses at funerals, is observed in certain provinces, such as Cebu and Iloilo. This custom, seemingly peculiar at first glance, speaks volumes about how Filipinos view the distinction between the living and the dead, the seen and the unseen. Imagine, listeners, a family gathered together in a dimly lit chapel, mourning the loss of a loved one. As the priest begins his prayers, you notice a peculiar sight. Many of the mourners are wearing sunglasses, their faces shielded from the soft glow of the candles. This custom, known as wearing sunglasses at funerals, is rooted in a deep belief in the presence of spirits and the need to maintain a boundary between the living and the departed. The story goes that wearing sunglasses during the wake helps to prevent the living from glimpsing the spirits of the deceased, believed to be wandering among the mourners. It is believed that these spirits, while not inherently harmful, can be seen by those who are particularly sensitive or have a strong connection to the deceased. By wearing sunglasses, the living create a barrier, a symbolic shield that protects them from the sight of these spirits, ensuring a peaceful and respectful wake for the departed. At first glance, this practice might seem odd, even superstitious, but it's rooted in a deep respect for the boundaries between worlds. It's similar, in a way, to the use of veils or other coverings in other cultures to protect mourners from the spirits of the deceased. This Filipino custom emphasizes the importance of maintaining harmony between the living and the departed, ensuring that each realm remains undisturbed. This ritual, like many others, highlights the intricate layers of cultural beliefs surrounding death and the afterlife. It's fascinating to observe how different societies address the delicate balance between the living and the dead, often employing unique practices to honor the departed and maintain a sense of order in the face of the unknown. But let's not forget that death is not always a solemn occasion. In some cultures, the transition from life to death is marked by celebration and festivity, a belief that the deceased continues to live on in the hearts and memories of those left behind. One such example is the Day of the Dead, a vibrant celebration held in Mexico and other Latin American countries. Our journey takes us now to the historical city of Vigan, in the northern Philippines, where the echoes of an ancient practice known as Su resonate. Though primarily associated with ancient India, aspects of this ritual have found parallels in the Philippines, reflecting a shared cultural heritage. Su, in its essence, was a practice that demanded a widow's ultimate sacrifice, symbolizing her unyielding devotion to her deceased husband. In ancient times, when a husband died, his widow was faced with a difficult choice: either remarry to continue her family line or embrace Su, a ritual that involved immolating herself on her husband's funeral pyre. The story of Liling, a widow from Vigan, is a poignant reminder of the power of tradition and the courage of women in the face of adversity. Liling, despite the grief and loneliness that followed her husband's death, chose life. She defied societal expectations and refused to participate in Su, sparking a quiet revolution among the village women who admired her courage and resilience. Su was outlawed in the 1800s, marking a significant shift in attitudes toward women's rights. It serves as a poignant reminder of how deeply ingrained traditions can evolve over time, reflecting changing societal values and perspectives. Historians debate whether Su was a genuine spiritual calling or a result of societal constraints, highlighting the ongoing struggle for women's autonomy throughout history. The story of Liling is not just a tale from the past, it resonates with contemporary issues of gender equality and empowerment. It raises questions about the role of women in society, the expectations placed on them, and their ability to make their own choices. Su, in its historical context, can be seen as a symbol of the patriarchal control that women faced in the past. By rejecting this practice, Liling challenged the status quo and paved the way for future generations of women to exercise their agency and autonomy. Before we continue into the episode, I invite you to follow Stories Philippines podcast and share it with those who cherish cultural exploration and storytelling. Our episodes are rich with compelling narratives and traditions that will engage your mind and heart. By recommending our podcast, you assist us in growing and sharing the joy of storytelling with others who appreciate a rich cultural journey. Whether you're tuning in while relaxing at home, on your daily commute, or enjoying some downtime, our stories are the perfect listening companion. Additionally, if you or someone you know has an insightful story or cultural tradition to share, we'd love to hear it. Your experiences and tales play a crucial role in enriching our community. Please reach out to us using the links in the show notes. We're eager to hear from you and possibly spotlight your story in an upcoming episode. Thank you for being a part of our cultural storytelling adventure. Now, let's dive back into the episode. Let's move on now to another fascinating aspect of death rituals: the stories and legends that surround the paranormal. As we continue our exploration, we turn our attention to the tales of the paranormal, which captivate the imaginations of young college students across the Philippines. These stories offer a glimpse into the unseen world, a world that intrigues and terrifies in equal measure, a world where the boundaries between the living and the dead seem to blur. In the hallowed halls of an ancient university in Light, a student named Miguel often felt a mysterious chill while studying late at night. His textbooks would inexplicably fall from his desk, and whispers seemed to echo from the empty corridors. At first, Miguel dismissed these occurrences as mere coincidence, but as they persisted, he began to question the nature of these strange phenomena. One night, while poring over his books in the library, Miguel felt a sudden presence behind him. He turned to see a translucent figure standing in the doorway, its face obscured by shadows. The figure slowly approached him, its eyes fixed on him with an unsettling intensity. Before Miguel could scream, the figure vanished, leaving behind a trail of icy air. From that moment on, Miguel's perspective on the world shifted. He became more aware of the unseen forces that surrounded him, the subtle whispers and echoes that seemed to emanate from the shadows. He believed that he had encountered the spirit of a former student, a young woman who had died tragically in the library many years ago. Such tales, listeners, beckon us to question the boundaries between the living and the dead, to consider the possibility of an unseen world woven into our own. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, these stories tap into a universal fear, the unknown. They challenge our perceptions of reality, inviting us to contemplate the existence of forces beyond our comprehension. And as we delve deeper into the realm of the paranormal, we encounter another fascinating practice, one that transcends cultural boundaries and speaks to the universal human desire to connect with the departed. Ascending to the majestic mountains of Tibet, we explore the practice of sky burials, a transformative ritual that speaks to humanity's relationship with nature. In this sacred tradition, the body of the deceased is offered to the elements, allowing vultures to carry the spirit skyward. Imagine, listeners, a serene Tibetan landscape dotted with colorful prayer flags and ancient monasteries. In this breathtaking setting, a family gathers to bid farewell to a loved one. Instead of traditional burial or cremation, they choose to perform a sky burial, a practice steeped in deep spiritual significance. The body of the deceased is washed and dressed in ceremonial robes, then placed on a platform high above the valley floor. The family members offer prayers and offerings, seeking to guide the spirit of the departed on its journey to the afterlife. As they watch, vultures descend upon the body, their sharp beaks picking at the flesh and bones. To outsiders, sky burials might seem unsettling, even macabre, but for the Tibetan people, this ritual reflects a deep reverence for the natural world and the cyclical nature of existence. The vultures, seen as sacred scavengers, are believed to carry the spirit of the deceased to the heavens, where it will join the ancestors in a state of eternal bliss. Sky burials emphasize the interconnectedness of life, death, and rebirth. Similar practices are found in other cultures, such as the Zoroastrians' Towers of Silence. Both highlight humanity's desire to honor the dead by returning them to nature, allowing their bodies to decompose and become part of the natural cycle. These practices challenge us to view death not as an end, but as a transformation, a continuation of the journey in a different form. They remind us that our physical bodies are merely temporary vessels, housing our spirits that transcend the boundaries of time and space. Our exploration now leads us to the intriguing rainforests of New Guinea, where the practice of endocannibalism challenges conventional notions of respect and honor for the deceased. In this tribal community, the line between the living and the dead blurs as ancestral spirits are ingested and preserved. Imagine, listeners, a remote village nestled deep within the rainforest, home to a people who hold onto ancient traditions, customs that outsiders might find unsettling. Among these customs is a practice known as endocannibalism, the consumption of the deceased as a form of honoring their memory and maintaining a connection with the ancestors. When a respected elder of the tribe dies, their body is not buried or cremated, but rather preserved and consumed by the members of the community. This practice is believed to allow the spirit of the deceased to live on within the living, ensuring that their wisdom and knowledge are passed down to future generations. At first glance, endocannibalism might seem macabre or even taboo, but it's important to understand the cultural context in which it takes place. For these people, it's not simply a matter of consuming flesh, it's a way of honoring the deceased, of preserving their legacy, and of maintaining a connection with the ancestors. Endocannibalism, like many other cultural practices, challenges our preconceived notions about death and the afterlife. It invites us to reconsider what constitutes respect for the dead, what it means to honor their memory, and how we maintain a connection with those who have gone before us. Just as the ancient Egyptians believed in preserving the body for the afterlife, so too do these people believe that consuming the deceased allows their essence to live on within the living. This practice, while undoubtedly unique and potentially unsettling to outsiders, reflects a deep-seated belief in the interconnectedness of all living things and the cyclical nature of existence. As we conclude our journey through the world's diverse death rituals, we are left with a multitude of questions and insights. What have we learned about the human experience, about the way we confront the inevitable. How do these practices shape our understanding of life, death, and the afterlife? As we reflect on the rituals we've explored, from the poignant ceremonies of posthumous marriage to the transformative practice of sky burials, we see a common thread: a deep respect for life and death, a desire to honor the departed, and a quest to find meaning in the face of the unknown. In the vibrant streets of Manila, an elderly woman named Lola Maria shared stories of her ancestors, passing down their traditions and wisdom to her grandchildren. As they listened, the children gained a sense of belonging, understanding that they were part of a larger tapestry of life that spanned generations. In their hearts, the stories and rituals their Lola shared kept the family's legacy alive. These rituals, though varied, are united by a common thread: a deep respect for life and death. They remind us of our shared humanity, the universal quest to make sense of existence's greatest mystery. They teach us to approach cultural practices with openness and empathy, to understand that what may seem foreign or unsettling to us often holds layers of significance and meaning for others. As we navigate the complexities of life and death, embracing the diversity of human experience allows us to find solace in the knowledge that, despite our differences, we are all bound by the shared journey of existence. Listeners, as we conclude this exploration, we invite you to share your stories and experiences, whether drawn from personal encounters or echoing the rich tapestry of your cultural heritage. Your contributions are welcome for future episodes, as it's through sharing that we learn and grow together. Additionally, if you enjoyed this episode and wish to support the Stories Philippines podcast, please check the links in the show notes. Your financial support enables us to continue creating and sharing these captivating stories that connect us all. Thank you for joining us on this profound journey, and until next time, stay curious, stay compassionate, and keep exploring the mysteries that make our world beautifully complex.